Now, from Wish TV, this is The Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. Coming up tonight, the fall season comes to a close as championships are claimed on the gridiron. In the Coach's Corner, meet the man who just led his team to a third football state title in 4 years. Plus, we go on the campus with a former Indiana All-Star and Pike basketball standout at the University of South Florida.
Practices and games are very competitive, and that's what I love to do is compete.
A championship edition of the Zone Extra starts right now.
Medals are on, the trophies, probably in the trophy cases by tonight. Thanks for stopping by the Zone Extra. Charlie Clifford with you. One of the most electrifying fall sports season in recent memory. Done. Winter sports. The spotlight is on you going forward. In a couple minutes tonight on the Coach's Corner, his team, Class 3A state champs again in football. Bishop Chittard's Rob Doyle joining us in studio. Plus, our athlete of the week, over 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns. He really propelled Center Grove to a third consecutive football state title. Senior Micah Coyle is on the show. You saw his highlights all season long on the Zone. Plus, we're going to catch up with a former Pike basketball star tonight. But up first, we go back to state finals weekend in 6A. Will that sweater vest make it to the IHSAA Hall of Fame? I think so, because Center Grove continues to do stuff like this. Tyler Cherry, Jalen Thompson. Who's going to tackle him? 64 yards, second quarter, Owen Bright. 8-play drive, 1-yard touchdown. And you're starting to look up at that scoreboard and say, how many are they going to put up tonight? Third quarter, one more time around the end. That was Eli Holt, third year in a row. Center Grove, 6A champs. That is hard to do. Do not take that for granted. 35-9. Coach Moore.
It's been tough because the last 2 years we were undefeated and everybody thought we should do this, and sometimes you just sort of walk the motion. This year was probably more genuine because no one expected it, and some of these kids hadn't had a chance. So our key this year was to become one with a great opportunity to play. And these seniors had the opportunity, and man, did they play. I'm so proud of all the fans that come out every year and cheer us on. Winning 3 straight state championships is the hardest feat you could have.
We love you, Coach Moore. We knew it was a trying year behind the scenes. The machine that is Center Grove continues. In 5A, this is the nightcap on Saturday. Whiteland gunning for its first ever state championship. Malik Perkins, 96 yards. Kickoff return, 7-0 Whiteland. A little bit later, fourth quarter, Valpo is up 4. Kevin Denham rolling out. Jakari Oliver. Whiteland leads. They needed one stop. 19 seconds to go. Justin Clark, Rocco Machiche. Those 11 yards, the difference for the 5A championship. Valpo 35-31, a heartbreaker for Whiteland.
This has been 47 years in the making. 1975 was our last championship game that we won. This is for everybody in those last 47 years and everybody that has been a part of this program, that has worn this jersey, that has been on our sidelines and worked it for us, and this is for our town.
Just courage. They had an awful lot of courage. I think it showed tonight. We kept coming back, and that was 2 lions in a cage, and it was who was going to make the last play, and got to give Valparaiso credit. They made it.
Fantastic perspective from Coach Marshall, Coach Fisher. We salute you as well. What a season. Bishop Chittard in 3A with Lawrenceburg. Trojans down 4 in the third. Drew Van Vliet to Noah Dudick. Touchdown Chittard. Trojans lead fourth quarter. Riley Kinnett, pair of touchdowns. Chittard, 16 football state titles. That's number 1 all time. We're going to get to Coach Doyle momentarily in the Coach's Corner. Meanwhile, 1A, I had the privilege of being on the play-by-play for this one. Lutheran and Adams Central. It was a game early, and then Jackson Willis went crazy. Micah McKay, 14-yard touchdown. Saints lead late in the half. Willis, Devon Jones. This one goes for 67 yards. The young sophomore lefty for the Saints just makes everything look so easy. It was a 9-point game at half, third quarter. One more time, Willis and Jones. Those 3 hooked up 3 times. Willis threw 4 passing touchdowns. And the Saints march back in 1A, back-to-back titles for Dave Pasch.
We played well enough. I didn't like some of the things we did early, but I think we played a really clean second half. What a wonderful day when you get to do this for a living in a place like this and proclaiming Jesus Christ as your Savior. And you get to bring a bunch of tremendous young people along with you.
It's awesome. I mean, I've had these kids for 4 years, and the seniors in this class, it's been awesome. And the seniors ahead of me, and just being able to play with them and practice alongside of them, it's been awesome.
McKay earns the Mental Attitude Award. He still is looking for a college offer. College coaches watching it. He looked pretty good on Saturday. All right, football season's over. That means we're going indoors for some popcorn and that dribbling of the basketball. Last week, boys hoop season, it tipped off. Season opening loss earlier in the week for Mount Vernon, but on Saturday night on the road at Covenant Christian, the Marauders respond. 20-point win up next for Mount Vernon. Coming back home, big one against Garrett Weininger and 7th-ranked Fishers on Saturday. Girls hoops, last weekend we saw a good one. Pair of unbeaten teams early in the season. 2nd-ranked Zionsville, number 5 Bedford North Lawrence. The Stars jumped out to an early lead. Zionsville battles back, takes a 4-point lead at the break. Game high 25, senior Layla Hall. That was the difference, 56-41 Eagles. Let's take a look at the top 5 currently in Class 4A. South Bend, Washington is the team to beat. We know they always have firepower. Zionsville, Hamilton Southeastern, Noblesville, maybe your top 3 teams in Central Indiana. Quick timeout here on the Zone Extra. Up next, we're going to the Coach's Corner. His Trojans, state champs, Rob Doyle, continues to get it done at Bishop Chatard. He joins us in studio. And a little bit later, state champion who rushed for over 2,000 yards will introduce you to our latest Athlete of the Week. We'll be back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine. The Coach's Corner, presented by Bailey & Wood Mortgage Lender.
Hey, this is the Coach's Corner. Charlie Clifford, Bishop Chatard head football coach Rob Doyle. Coach Doyle, we appreciate you joining us after what is the best weekend of the year. 6 titles go out, and the Trojans, once again in Class 3A for the 3rd time in 4 seasons, you walk off the turf at Lucas Oil Stadium as champs. What were you thinking about walking back to that locker room, Rob?
Well, I wanted to spend some time with the kids because at the state game, you don't get to be with each other right after the game. And we told our kids beforehand, when you're in a semi-state, and I've been on the losing end of those, and I've been on the winning end, and it's a special time because that's the time you're with your friends and your family after the game, your classmates, you're all there. Even if you lose that game, there's a lot of people on the field. In the state game, you sort of get whisked around,
right.
So you never have that wrap up with your team. So by the time I got there, our defensive coaches have a thing. They have these payday candy bars in a briefcase, and those were opened up in the locker room, and the guys were dancing and doing all the whoopa. It was fun.
I'm guessing that briefcase was empty by the time you left.
Yes, it was empty.
Let's look at the game. Lawrenceburg, a fantastic program. Coach, it looked like they came out swinging. Break this down for me as you watch it.
Well, they do have a very good program. We've seen them in the playoffs several years. We haven't played them, but you see them as a prospective opponent, and Ryan Kaniga does a great job. They came out and they were fired up. I think our kids kind of thought, hey, we've been through the battles this year and we're probably going to win this game, and these guys came out and they played really good football.
Yeah.
And we had to regroup a little bit at halftime. We made a mistake right at the end of the half. I still felt comfortable. We have been through a lot this year, and our kids we work them really hard. And a lot of people ask us, well, what'd you say at halftime? It's like the same thing we always say. Just keep fighting, keep playing. We've been here before. Stick with your brothers. We're going to win this game. We're going to wear them down.
Your offense did, and then a defensive star with 2 interceptions. Tell me about the defensive hero in the second half.
Well, Colin Guy got a couple really nice picks. He had a nice catch offensively, too. He's a heck of an athlete, and sort of midway through the year.
Second one right here.
Yes. And I thought he might score on this one, actually. About midway through the year, we decided that we needed to have him play. He was just playing receiver mostly, and I said, we've got to get him playing defense too. So
I would say that's a plus in the coaching department for you. Colin Guy, the younger brother, of course, of Kyle Guy, the storied national champion at Virginia, by way of Lawrence Central. You had an injury story, Coach Doyle, that I think ranks up there with just about any of them this season. Please share that.
Well, you just saw Riley Kinnett there scoring a touchdown. So Riley snapped his right wrist, and he's right-handed running back, almost in half in Week 5 against Columbus North. He had to have a surgery, had pins sticking out of his arm, and we knew that the only way he could possibly ever be in another game was the state championship if we were lucky enough to make it that far. And so the hope was the whole time he's going to keep rehabbing. He would come to practice, hold the ball in his left arm.
That's all he could
everywhere he went. And then it came to be the week before, and it's like, we think he can go. We'll cast him. Are you going to play him? I'm like, trust me, we will play him.
Wow.
He's a special running back. He sees holes and can catch a seam like no other. And once he was cleared by the doctors, we plan to use him.
And you made that work, a couple touchdowns in the title game. Let's look at what was a great scene. This is, again, Saturday afternoon, a year of hard work. What would you tell this group, Coach? Because I know you've been lucky enough to do this twice before. What did you tell the third group to get it done under your watch?
Well, this was a special year for us. We had a very tough schedule, and our seniors worked real hard. It's a great group of kids. And we sort of told them beforehand, look, this is probably the toughest schedule we've had at Chittard for a school our size. We're going to have some tough moments, and we're going to have some moments that it's going to test. We have a thing we call the brotherhood. The kids really live that. And there's going to be some moments where the brotherhood's going to be tested. And you guys need to keep the faith, keep working. The only way we get through this is together. And our philosophy is just keep the standards at Chittard and get better every day, every week. No matter what happened on Friday nights, win or lose, we kept that mantra, and the kids, the seniors, were great leaders in keeping that going forward.
Seniors, you listened. Hats off to you, Coach Doyle, from Andrean to DePauw to Chittard. I know you waited a dozen years to take over the head spot. Job well done, and we can't wait to see what you do next, all right?
Well, I appreciate you having us on and promoting the school.
You got it.
Thank you.
All right, Chittard fans, you're in good hands going forward. Still ahead on the Zone Extra. It's our Athlete of the Week. He ran for over 2,000 on the ground. He helped Center Grove to a third consecutive state championship. Micah Coyle joins the show. Plus, we're going to hit campus tonight. South Florida. You remember this name, Ryan Conwell at Pike. He's now playing a big role as a freshman with the Bulls. We'll be back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
This is the Zone Extra, and this is the final football story of the year. Can you believe it? Center Grove, 3 straight state championships in Class 6A. One of the key figures that you saw almost every Friday night on the Zone, senior running back Micah Coyle. He was an absolute tornado this season. Ran it 26 times for 133 yards and a touchdown in the championship game as the Trojans rolled past Carroll on the season. Over 2,000 yards, 22 rushing touchdowns, nearly 7 yards a carry, and $150 a game. A lot of that looked like this. Coyle says the success, you got to look up front to the linemen. He was ready to contribute too, and his number was called. We know being a running back at Center Grove, that is no small order.
Being able to stay healthy all season, the coaches could hand me the ball 30, 32 times a game, 35, and I would stay healthy the whole season. I didn't have one injury all season, and so the coaches just rely on me. We're a run offense, and we just feed the ball to the warhorse. That's what people call me, and it definitely feels good to be one of those running backs.
He's a product of work ethic. Micah Coyle is a tremendous weight room kid. This year, it was all him. I mean, honestly, on offense, running the football. Because we lost Drew Wheat that first game and just sort of moved the plate over. Okay, Micah, you got to eat all this now. He took control.
I'm definitely going to miss the brotherhood with the whole team, including the coaches. I'm the best coaches in Indiana. I was close with all of them, especially Coach Moore and Coach Timmons, the running back coach. And just the kids, my senior class this year got super, super close. And that's honestly what helped us win this season.
The Warhorse made of Teflon. Congratulations, Micah Coyle. You earned that state championship. Up next on the Zone Extra, we'll look at our play of the week. It was absolutely bonkers. Plus, the latest installment of Ask the Commissioner, Paul Neidig, the IHSAA, joining us shortly. We'll be back.
This is the Zone Extra, presented by Franciscan Health Sports Medicine.
Each night here on the Zone Extra, we like to go onto campus, check in on a former star that many of you probably watched around here. We're going to the University of South Florida tonight. Former Pike standout, Indiana Mr. Basketball, Ryan Conwell, in his freshman season with the Bulls. During his senior season at Pike, Conwell, 23 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals. Again, Marion County Player of the Year and a candidate for Mr. Basketball. In 8 games so far at USF, Conwell, he's started 3 of them. He's playing around 21 minutes a night. He's scoring about 6 points a game. He's adjusting to college life, telling us he's loving it in the Sunshine State.
It's been pretty good. So I just been getting used to, just the college atmosphere, the college system, like on and off the court, though, just getting used to being just a college student. But it's been a great experience so far, being able to play basketball at the Division I level, being able to do what I love to do. Everybody at this level is very skilled, and everybody is, was the best player or one of the best players on a high school team. So practices and games are very competitive, and, that's what I love to do is compete. It's really all just a blessing. I mean, this is like, one of my goals, one of my dreams to be able to play at this level, have this opportunity.
Ryan Conwell looking good in 0, one of the better players Bill Zix had there in the past few years. All right, Ask the Commissioner. Each week we go to the Commissioner's office with a question for Paul Neidig. He brings you his answer. Here's your week's question. With girls wrestling underway as an emerging sport, what feedback has the IHSAA received on this?
Well, I think the first feedback I've gotten is some people have said, what took you so long? And I would agree with that. It took us too long. But we're to a point now where the ladies get to step on the wrestling mat, and they're trained. They're high-level athletes that have been coached along the way. And we're going to see a level of wrestling in this state from our ladies that participate that people have not anticipated. We certainly have some Olympic champions and participants from this state, and I'm really excited. We're hearing great news from our schools about the number of girls that are signing up to wrestle for their high school this year, and I really do think in a couple short years, girls wrestling will be a sport that we celebrate a state championship in, and they'll move on from the emerging status to a full-fledged recognized IHSAA sport, and we can't wait.
That is a strong forecast from the Commissioner's desk to your living room tonight. Thank you to Paul Neidig, as always. All right, let's take a look at our play of the week. This one was rather ridiculous. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2-1, shot up is good. Huntington North, a half quarter from Marissa Trout. That beats Carroll in overtime one more time. Yes, she got it off. Banks open. And Marissa Trout, you are on the Zone Extra. How about that? If you want to send in one of your crazy plays you see in a gym or wherever this winter sports season, use the hashtag #TheZoneExtra, and your video can end up right here. Just send it to us on Twitter, and it is that easy, ladies and gentlemen. Mindy TV 23, your local home for high school sports in Central Indiana. Pike, Ben Davis, 7:30 tip-off Friday night. This is going to be a good one. Ben Davis is loaded with talent. The Giants currently second ranked in the state in the moment in boys basketball. Big night of high school hoops across Central Indiana tomorrow night. We will cross all of the region to give you the best action. The premiere of the Zone Hoops tomorrow night at 11:08. Here's a little look at our game plan. Chittard Brebeuf. Okay, we're going to start there. You know it's going to be a big night. Couple rivalries you see on this game. I should say on this screen, at the bottom of your screen, there's one right there as well. Lawrence Central traveling to Carmel. We will see you tomorrow night on the Zone. Very big thanks to Coach Doyle joining us after what was a very busy week for the Trojans. For Charlie Clifford, executive producer Brian Eckstein, and the entire crew on the Zone Extra, we will see you next week.